Come here.
Hey. I might have it now. No, I don't have it. This is oh my goodness. Hey. No, that's on a delay. That's on a delay. I might have it now. Wait a couple seconds. Let's go. Hey, I might have it now. No, I don't have it. This is
That's it.
testing. Let us know if you can hear us. Hey. It might be all right now. No?
Hold it.
No, that's on the delay.
No, it's calling to a phone.
That's on the delay. I might have it now. Yeah. How far back are you? Wait a couple seconds.
It's just everything is different, man.
Testing. Let us know if you can hear us.
Yeah,
You can hear us
We're
now.
good. All right.
Head down.
Oh man. One thing about it is they eventually figure it out. I think I know what that is. I have to get with Ant afterwards. I think
Just like eating pussy. Eventually figure it out.
people are changing the settings, I believe. And that's what's messing us up from week to week. All right, you guys are back on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink. Looks like we lost about 7 people there, but we'll get them back hopefully. Ah, man.
Have a little faith, guys.
Yeah, that's it, man.
It's not like haven't been down this road before.
A little faith, man. You know, first of all, you guys.
Thanks, Carvers.
Yeah. What he says?
He said we're good.
You good? Yeah. First of all, let's talk about what we're doing on the show today. That kind of set me back a little bit. You guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports music and Mayhem. We're available on all, and I do mean all podcast streaming platforms. Today, we wanted to show our appreciation to the people who have been watching us from week to week, whether it's social media or here on YouTube, of course. Call in to our show tonight. You could talk about anything and everything, whatever's on your mind, sports, relationship, mama and daddy whooping you too much, whatever it is. You can call into the show. We'll listen and we'll comment on it. But some of the other things that's trending,
Provide important feedback.
other things that's trending in the world of sports, music, entertainment, of course, is JJ Redick, Kendrick Perkins got at it, went at it on each other on ESPN. You got Chris Rock, new comedy special. He addressed the Will Smith situation. Lamar Jackson was tagged, as we thought he may be, and but the market is looking bare. You have Tyler Perry looking to buy BET. You got some more folks missing in Mexico, more black folks. All right. And then I have looks like I have a 30% discount on my phone here from a spa. Shout out to Moni.
Really?
Giving out discounts. We did a commercial for her about a month ago. So shout out to her. Her business is still thriving. And, yes, like I said, you guys are on the bench. Now, we're going to take calls anytime you do call. But in the meantime, we're going to get going with our show.
You'll see that number up there, so call.
Yeah,
Weigh in with your thoughts.
407-906-7636.
We're here for it all.
We're here for it all, man. What I wanted to do, though, is in that meantime, I had a two-folded thing. One is, so, on the bench here, we do a lot of commercials for like local and vendors and people with businesses or people that do music, people that are in entertainment, and again, I can't stress enough, people that have their own personal businesses, and I had this artist reach out to me and he wanted me to play their song
Yeah.
on the show. Now, typically we used to play like a couple of songs throughout the show, and then sometimes I have a person either which has mostly been Jason or Bay Bubs open the show or close it. And Pink is a guy who he wants more artists on the show. He has some artists that he loves that he wants on the show, and then they can come on and perform and stuff like that. And we've had artists on the show. I'm not a big artist guy for On the Bench, and I'll tell you why. One of the reasons is artists, they have this self-entitlement, and for example, out of the hundreds of artists, different artists we played, and it's not all just Orlando. We played artists from California, New York, local artists, as long as it's local, meaning that we won't get charged or dinged if we play it on YouTube. All right, that's the reason. That's another reason for behind that. But also, we like to support the people. But it's very rare that we get the support back, right? And it's not that we do it for that, but it is something to note. We sharing all of this, music, and we're paying our editor to put the clips out and stuff like that, and outside of smaller than a handful, those guys don't reshare our stuff. They don't like or comment on our page and stuff like that. So it's like, well, what am I doing it for? I mean, we could just get straight to the entertainment, the sports, and stuff like that. But I'm going to continue to support this because that's what the show is built on, right? But the thing is, so the guy asked me to play the song on the show, and then a week later he hits me back like, "Hey man, did you play it like you said you would? What was the reaction? What was this? And where can I find it?" And it's like, so number one, he didn't watch the show that I told him I was going to play the song on. Number two, he never watches the show because he don't even know where he could find me at. He can find us at. And it's like, you got to learn. The thing is, and it's not a ragging on this person. It's just like you have to learn, man. In business and in life, you if you want something from somebody, you have to make yourself. You have to make that person feel
like they're getting something out of it. It's relationships, but relationships are reciprocal.
Yeah.
And if you're giving something, you're going to get something, and vice versa. A good relationship, both people feel like they're getting something out of the deal. Exactly. It's not one-sided. I mean, whether that involves the coochie or not, if it just involves the show and some music. But no, there's the people that really move forward and progress through things, they do their business in a way that both parties feel like they're getting something of value.
Yes.
Win-win. That's the motto.
that really is the model there. And the second thing that was twofold that was on my mind is so. And it kind of escaped me just for one moment, but I'm going to get it back because that's what I do. You're on the Bench Podcast with Bubba Pink, Home of Sports Music, and Mayhem.
The sound escaped you. Now your second thought escaped you.
No, we're here, man. So we're sectioned and located in Orlando, but this happens everywhere. People have this weird thing that they, they're the best at everything in whatever city or demographic that they're in. And you see this all the time. Like I see people going there, I got the best podcast in the city. And I don't, da. And you can tell these folks they can kiss my what. And the same thing with musicians and comedians and this and that, especially in Orlando. And it's so sickening that even when I go out of town, I don't even tell people I'm from Orlando. I tell people I'm from Edenville or Winter Park, which is true, but we're technically Orlando too. But anyway, I just have this strong thing, and a lot of those people, I like it, and if I see them in the street tomorrow, I'm gonna dap them up or hug them or whatever, because there's women that do that too. It's just very weird. We have this local
women.
We have this local sense of fucking like you just have to. Like just do the work and let the results speak for.
No, now you're speaking my language.
Yeah, like just that's it. Like what is like all of this you're doing is window dressing and ranch, but where are the wings? Where's the salad? Where's like all you're doing is putting out mustard and ketchup and sauce, and it's like you just do the work and let the results speak for itself. It's just. And also you're keeping yourself so like the people that's making real money in your industry, they like don't get me wrong, of course they care about the environment and the community that they're in, but they're so far like outside of whatever city and demographic.
Well, nobody gets rich on a city.
Yeah.
Like if you're an artist, if you're a content creator of something like that,
or even a business person.
Yeah, but you the money is going to be beyond your friends, beyond your city, beyond those limitations. It's when you can attract people that had no idea who the hell you were. Aren't necessarily from your city, but they're into what you're doing.
Right.
And it comes down to the work. So, yeah, I mean, claiming, best podcast or whatever in Orlando, I mean, there's always somebody in another town doing better.
It's just weird to me, and I just wish it wasn't so.
But that's small. That's just small-minded thinking, and you can't be bothered with what the small mind does.
No, but and it doesn't impact me at all. But I just would like to be a part of pushing the culture forward. We can't stay behind, for forever. At least I hope not. You know what I mean? Like we just can't stay behind because one person's success, does impact the success of others, and because one group or entity could shed light. When Orlando hosts a All-Star weekend, like people can benefit from that. Basically what I'm saying is a person can benefit from another person, but if everyone is in the same crab barrel, then no one is succeeding. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It's just like a crab bucket mentality, and it's just sickening, man. It's just sick.
No,
I don't know.
I mean, you can have a positive development environment where there is like sort of a healthy competition and people like taking the craft seriously and improving, or you can have the crab bucket.
Yeah, that was on my mind today.
So on the bench with Bubba and Pink here, we're not here for the crab bucket.
No, not at all.
So fuck the crabs. Maybe you'll catch crabs.
Maybe. I like snow crabs.
I'm just kind of in favor of people getting venereal diseases that I'm not going to mess with.
But what if they can get them cured?
Oh, I mean, okay. Not so exciting. You're telling me you would laugh if one of your coworkers had crabs?
One of my college roommates did.
See? You got a smile on your face. I see it.
One of my college roommates did.
That's good stuff, man.
And yeah, he actually not stole but borrowed a pair of my jeans. And I was like, man, you can either keep them or burn them.
While he was afflicted.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Slim. All right. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast. You can call in at any time. In the meantime, we're just going to continue our show. Don't get scared, now. We had a few people saying they were gonna call in. Don't be afraid of the bright lights. You guys call in at any time.
The moment might not be too big for you.
Yeah, and
let's hope it's not.
And if you're having issues, just comment. Let us know. You can also text that line too to make sure
issues
it's clear.
In life or with the phone?
No, with the phone.
Okay. If you have interesting issues in life, feel free to call as well.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah.
In the meantime, let's close the loop on Ja, man. Ja Morant. So the news is, well, at first he put out the statement. He said he was gonna take some time
away from the team.
Take time away from the team, work on himself and things like that. He acknowledged the issue and the problem, things like that. And then from there, you had a bunch of reports that were either inaccurate or not. And we may have a first caller here. Hold on. Listen, 1 second here.
We got to be flexible.
Yeah, got to be flexible here. Hey, how you doing? You are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink. We can't.
What's good, man? It's Blu-ray.
Okay, I was gonna say we couldn't hear you. We can hear you now. What's going on, Blu-ray? What's on your mind, man?
Nothing, man. I want to address something you said earlier on. You were talking about the crab in the bucket mentality. How y'all been playing people's stuff, but y'all don't get the support back. I see it like this, and I hate to say it, but you see that kind of stuff in black folk, man. I'm just calling it like I see it. Like, we just don't support one another. And like you said, you're not doing it for the support, but it would be good that what you put out, you get back. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what I'm saying, man.
Exactly. But that's the reason a lot of those artists are still in that same predicament. That's why they're still local, because they're not putting back what they received. So when you look at whoever it is, because I don't know who it is, but when you look at it, they don't have great success. Why? Because the people that do support them now pour back into them.
Yeah,
right.
That makes a lot of sense.
The same artists, they cry about the DJs in the city never playing the music, but they never went out when a DJ had a set at a club or something. They never went out and introduced themselves or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You gotta show support both ways. No, that's a good point.
As somebody who's worked in the nightlife and in that industry for the last 10, 12 years, however long it's been, bro, I can first hand say that is 100% the case. You had these DJs, they had this event and they had that event, and these people do not come out and support at all. They don't come out. What they expecting, because they think they got a good song or because they know the DJ, that the DJ should just play their record just because. And that's not how the music game works. You get what I'm saying? If by chance somehow they will make a good record and the record organically got hot in the street, you create the demand. But if you have no demand, it's about supply and demand. You have no demand, bro. What are you supplying to me? You're going to need to bring me some money, because I'm putting my job on the line, paying your record that nobody knows in the middle of my set that I get paid to have the crowd entertained. It makes no sense.
No, not at all.
It makes no sense at all.
Not at all. Before we get off here, you have anything to say about the Ja Morant situation?
Man, I got plenty to say about that situation. He's a plumb dumb fool. But at the end of the day, you always hear people say from my area that we are a product of our environment, right?
Right.
The thing about it is, Ja Morant is trapped in the social media world. He's a product of this generation, and that's what's hurting. He wants to be accepted by the urban people so bad that he's willing to put his career on the line to prove a point. And it's the dumbest thing in the world. But the incident with the gun online, that really is not the concerning part about it. The concerning part to me was the incident that happened at his house when they say he pulled the gun out on what was like a 17-year-old kid.
Right.
And everybody put out a story that, the kid said he was going to come shoot up my house. I don't believe that one bit. This guy wants the clout so bad that he is literally willing to put everything that he worked so hard for. It's the dumbest thing I've seen in my life or I've ever heard of. Like, how in the world are you this privileged and this talented, and you want to be accepted by people who don't give a rat's behind about you? It makes no sense. The people that he's trying to impress and be accepted by are not the people that are cutting the check.
No,
True,
not at
true.
all. Not at all. Well, appreciate you.
He
Go ahead. Keep going.
Just real quick, he has nobody in his ear telling him the right things. I blame this on his daddy, bro. Straight up and down. I blame this on his inner circle. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to really look at the dad and be like, what that, because he's clearly there. It's not, some situation where he's not around. He's there. He's got the opportunity to see, number one, what's happening in real time, and number two, the access to say, yo, you're not going down the right path right now.
Facts. Well, appreciate your call.
Man.
Appreciate your call,
That's one of the
Blu-ray.
things I blame on the father. But all right, y'all, man. Y'all have a good show.
Thanks for the call, man.
Yeah.
All right.
No, for sure. I mean, he definitely has some good. Blu-ray definitely has some good points about that. The inner circle, it is a lot to blame. At the same time, you can't push somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't make someone do something. Whatever the case may be. But
yeah, I mean,
it's a little tough.
It is. I mean, I'm still not sure. I mean, where and how did he grow up? Because nobody's told me compellingly that this guy really grew up in a bad area and bad situation.
Right.
And so I'm not. Yeah, it almost feels a little fake and a little contrived that he is kind of in this weird, insecure way seeking acceptance, to a demographic of people that really aren't going to do any good.
Right.
And it's stunning. But I mean, you are your habits, and we didn't see exactly this coming, but we've talked a couple times on kind of his behavior and some of the things he's doing and how he's come off, and now it's really kind of hit critical mass where it's on the national radar, and it's a debate as to what's going on with this guy, and you're suspended and you're away from the team and whatever. But I mean, the statement he gave, he damn sure didn't write it. It didn't come across as any sincere thing. It checked the boxes as public apology.
Yeah.
But what are you dealing with? That's the thing. And I mean, if that's the case, go to the Players Tribune and sit down with a writer and write something and pretend it's yours.
Yeah.
That's what it is. If you have some legitimate issue of anxiety, if you have some legitimate issue of depression, I don't know what you got going on. But your statement damn sure didn't tell us.
No,
and there's no clear path of what you're doing while you're stepping away from the team.
No, and as we talked about off camera, that's the most challenging time is going to be while he's away from the team, away from the facility, is, does he stay out of trouble from then? But now he did receive some good news today, John Morant. He said, he won't face criminal charges after the gun video, from the gun video.
Right.
Now the thing at the house, that's still ongoing as far as the 17-year-old kid that said he got beat up at John Morant's house and threatened with a gun. That case is still going, but when him showing his gun on IG Live, the police won't be facing any further criminal charges. And also, the Grizzlies have just basically gave him an official suspension. And he'll be away from the team for the next 4 games, and then he'll be eligible to come back and play after the next 4 games.
Oh, okay.
And that's after the news about he won't be facing criminal charges. I imagine if he did face criminal charges, it would have been a harsher suspension, harsher penalty.
Yeah, there was this question. There was two pieces that I thought were interesting. There was a thing where he potentially brought the gun on a team plane, which could warrant an automatic 50-game suspension.
Right, but they can't.
Is that investigation still open? Because that wouldn't pertain to criminal charges. That would come from a league policy.
From a league policy.
So it's possible that still lands.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I thought was really interesting was apparently the night of or night before this gun episode in Denver, Steven Adams had a team meeting. And he's like, we're 12-20 on the road. We're a better team than that. We got to be disciplined. We got to be focused and whatever. And, the consensus was he was directing the talk at Ja. and Ja goes out that night and does the live.
A big screw you.
That mentality is bullshit. That's a mentality of failure.
Yeah.
That's a mentality of indifference. And if you're the Grizzlies, quite honestly, that's not the mentality of a guy you build your franchise around. Because it's bigger than that.
It is, and of course they just gave him the max deal.
Yeah,
and deservedly so at the time. But I don't know. The Steven Adams, when I heard that means a lot because that's one of the few veterans they have on that team.
Yeah,
if you're not going to listen to Big Steve there, I don't know.
But and I look again, other than Steven Adams, and maybe he's reaching a point of frustration himself. But like. The Grizzlies, in a lot of ways, are a collection of idiots.
Yeah.
I mean, Dylan Brooks is a dick. He just is. He kind of fancies himself some, pseudo tough guy, defensive guy, but he's just as big a scumbag as Grayson Allen, just as big a scumbag as Chris Paul, as far as just the extra nonsense and the bullshit.
What about Patrick Beverly?
Pat Beverly, don't even mention that. And that's what that guy is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't see. They've gone from being a likable group to being very unlikable in a hurry.
No, for sure.
I'll say that. So.
No, that's for sure.
But and also Gilbert Arenas had an interesting take. He's like, that by putting himself in this position, he's kind of taken himself out of what would be regarded as first tier NBA treatment. And it'll be interesting to follow over the next couple seasons. Do the Grizzlies get projected in a different light? Does Ja, in terms of like televised games and just promotion of the league, face of the league type stuff, does he kind of fall out of that mix? Is pretty much what Gilbert Arenas was suggesting is going to happen, and he should probably know.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I mean, he was
with his situation.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't always like what Gilbert says, but that struck with me, and I thought there was some credence to that. But we saw this coming. People are a product of their habits, and when you put yourself in a situation of bad habits, it's eventually going to catch up to you.
It is. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. You can call in at any time using the phone number that is on the screen there. If you can't see it, it's also in the live chat. I know some of y'all were using, bifocals at this point of our age and time. All right.
Wow.
Quick note here. KD was injured during the warm-up today.
That's tough to do.
He slipped on a wet spot.
Oh, no.
And hurt his ankle.
Home or away?
I'm not sure. But I know one thing. Those guys who have to wipe the floor, somebody might.
Heads will roll. Well, that's why I asked home or away.
Yeah.
If you're in Phoenix and that happens, there's got to be some consequences to that.
It's tough, man.
If you're on the road, hey.
And those guys make good money. The guys who come in and do that, I saw an article. They make like it's absurd, like $80,000 a year or something. And that's just working the home game. So you have 80 games. What's that?
41 games.
41 games. Just to get out
Maybe
there.
4 or 5 preseasons.
Yeah.
Especially if you're on a team that does make the playoffs.
Courtside seats.
Yeah.
$80K a year. Sign me up, man.
What are we doing these 9 to 5s?
Juan, where's your connections, Juan? Let me use one that matters.
Yeah. Always wanted a job in the league.
I don't even have to move up from there. Just keep me there for a little while.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I mean, you got plenty of time to go out and make money else.
You know what I mean?
What the hell?
Yeah, for sure. All right, really quick here. Let's give a quick shout out to our very first sponsor here, Overkink.com, and I'm looking for it. Overkink.com has all, and I do mean all of your bedroom needs. All righty, please use promo code BubbaPink, and you can get a discount. Stay kinky for the summer. You don't want your
summer.
You don't want your guy or gal going to another home where they have Overkink products. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a disadvantage.
You're just not cutting it without your Overkink products.
That's right, man. Gotta do what's right.
What do you think the kinkiest season of the year is?
The kinkiest season, I would say it has to be cold. So I would say the winter.
So I'd say the winter, yeah. Especially in other climates.
Especially in other
everyone's
climates.
kind of stuck indoors.
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well get your freak on.
Yeah. Shout out to those other climates.
Yeah.
We don't have that here.
We're an under kink state. That's not good.
No, I know, right? Kendrick Perkins and JJ Redick went at it.
Almost came to blows.
On ESPN, man.
Might have been a little dramatic.
Yeah. They so talking about the MVP, Kendrick Perkins was saying, first of all, his very first comment he made, I think last week, was that Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets center, may be padding his stats, and a lot of people across the league pad their stats, but Nikola is a culprit in Kendrick's eyes, saying that when he opts to score less to get more assists. And the guys on the team are helping him get those rebounds and assists. And he says it's no different from when Westbrook was in OKC getting those triple doubles. And then he went from there to saying that, implying that the white voters, because there are more white voters that vote on MVP, are voting Jokic over, his picks, so to speak, which are Giannis and Embiid. And it is a racial component to the MVP and Jokic winning the MVP. And JJ Redick, of course, being a white guy, but also a guy who has a lot of knowledge, has a dope basketball podcast, et cetera, et cetera. And he took a pose to that and went at Kendrick heavy. What you had to say about that?
Kendrick, like he is in real life, his presentation of this was clumsy.
Yeah.
And he left JJ some low-hanging fruit by kind of cutting it off before Magic Johnson's MVP time. And but again, such is my lack of faith in white people that I don't doubt that it's somewhat of a consideration. I mean, it's like, you go back, it's like Larry Bird was a great player, but like Larry Bird was extra special because he was white.
Yeah.
I mean, there is always a thing of relatability for people. And when you see somebody that you can relate to, you're going to tend to side with them. And I do think that, there has to be some white voters that even subconsciously are influenced by that.
Yeah. Like I said, that definitely can be true. But I just think Perkins was off base here. And Perkins is a guy, man, he goes hot and cold with me because
mostly cold with me.
he makes some good points, and I love his analogies. He always got some dope analogies, something back in the day. Him and Shannon Sharp are really good with their funny analogies. And I like that a guy that deep from the South can make it to TV. It gives me hope with his because a lot of times he can't articulate very well, and I'm the same way. But a lot of times, man, Perkins just when he's off, he's ignorant, off, and just dumb. And I think that's a little bit more in the lines here because of the fact that Jokic, Nikola Jokic is an MVP candidate, right? So, it's not like they're trying to give it to whatever Kyle Korver or something. I don't know how egregious to go. I mean, I struggle to pull somebody else at the top of my head, but like, I understand Giannis and Embiid, Jokic. They're all this. It's close. That's why when people say, "Oh, it's this person," it's not even close. That's BS. These guys are the elite of the elite in the NBA. They all have cases, right? And it's and they're not picking this guy over that guy because of race. Because the NBA is a lot of black guys win. Most black guys win MVP from year to year, or a guy of African descent. Right? So I don't understand. I don't understand that point. And like you said, for him to cut it off where you can't count Magic Johnson, and there are three. His point was there are three. There have been three MVP winners that have won MVP. Not without averaging, I think it was like 25 a game or something like that. You have to look at the video to see the exact one. And those three were Nikola Jokic, Steve Nash, and Dirk Nowitzki, right? And I don't know, but points per game has never been the go-to,
the lead factor in an MVP
for MVP.
Yeah, I find Jokic to be really interesting in a lot of ways. He could be circling in on 3 consecutive MVP awards, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I think if you ask most fans to name the top 5 players in the league,
he wouldn't be in
he's not in it.
No.
And there's like this weird disconnect. And I'm not going to attribute solely to race, but there's this like weird disconnect between his perception and what are about to be his accomplishments.
Don't forget his peers either. It's not a huge thing, but it's a small thing that he was picked next to last in the All-Star game. And matter of fact, he picked himself. Like, he didn't want to be the last. Like, if you psychoanalyze that, he didn't want to be the last pick at All-Star.
Right.
He got up and just said, "No, LeBron, you're picking me. I'm not going last."
Right.
He very well could have been the last pick of the All-Star.
That's what I'm saying.
So
like,
his peers think of that.
There's this weird, and like again, we potentially a 3-time back-to-back MVP.
Yeah.
And this is where you are with your peers. You're outside the top 5
For
with
fans.
Snap fan reactions. You've been not individually. I mean, individually he's played his game, but your team has been a playoff flop for the most part. Like, so it's really curious that he is in this pathway to get this. Mm-hmm. And I thought this year was particularly, like, you're almost forced to, because last year he carried an understaffed team to the 6th seed, which isn't even that great an accomplishment, and they flamed out in the playoffs, but he got MVP. This year, they're first in the West. Statistically, he's better in most categories than he was last year. So how do you not give it to him? It's just
based
bizarre.
on that criteria.
Like,
yeah.
It's just an anomaly. And I mean, again, I say this: he is a great player.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot deny his greatness as a player, but it just doesn't feel right that he should be 3-time back-to-back MVP with essentially what his accomplishments are.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure. Let's see here. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Don't forget, you guys can call in today using that number on the screen, 407-906-7636. And that's at any time. We can be right in the middle of conversation.
And we'll shift for you.
We'll shift right for you.
Come on. So let's get another caller in here.
You can also text as well to make sure the coast is clear if you would like, or you can just go ahead and call right away.
The coast is clear.
All right. In the meantime, we have a lot to talk about here. So the Mexico thing, right?
More death in Mexico.
Yeah. Do you know exactly what happened? I know you know, or at least on the.
My understanding is that the woman here in the picture is from South Carolina. She was going to Mexico for plastic surgery. They crossed the border in, I believe, a white van or SUV, and they were essentially tracked down by armed guys who took them captive. 2 of the people were shot. 2 of the people were kept in a remote house and were found by authorities and returned to the U.S. today. So those are just the raw facts of it. There was some speculation or notion that there was some sort of misidentification, that the people that took them were human traffickers who thought that they were attacking other human traffickers. And for whatever that's worth, I'm not sure the dynamic of human trafficking, like what are the telltale signs? I mean, should we not drive white SUVs or vans in Mexico? Is that the code?
Right.
So I don't know. It seems a little weird. But on many levels, like, why is this chick traveling with 3 dudes to get plastic surgery? Were they going to get some penis enhancements too? Like, what are we talking about?
Everybody's getting work done.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like,
oh man.
you know.
But I have seen that a lot. One thing that's a real thing, and they call it Black Twitter. I call it Black social media. So the thing that's
you don't want to tie yourself down to Twitter.
Yeah, because I'm not on Twitter. I need to be with all the porn they say it's on Twitter.
Oh, dude, nowadays. Get in, because they're getting in on there.
I know, man. Trust me. I hear.
Oh, Lord.
I hear a lot of people tell me, but the thing is people are like. It's just making weird jokes. I don't know.
What's the weird joke?
So basically, they said, "Oh, you guys weren't going to Mexico anyway, so why all this fake outrage?" And I'm just like, well, I mean, it's another group or whatever set of black people that have had issues in Mexico. Like that's notable. And yes, you should.
Well, the other one we talked about was Friendly Fire.
It was, but the way that it was handled and how long it took, like there's other things in play there. But what I'm saying is, not to say that anything's right or wrong about it, but a person should be in their every right to think twice or look further into it before traveling to Mexico. Well, these issues, with all these issues and just being black people, it's okay if you, like, who cares that they've never been to Mexico? I don't know. It's just weird and dumb to me. I don't know. Just seeing all of those posts about, why are you guys, outraged about what's going on in Mexico and you weren't going to Mexico anyway? Like thousands of posts that are centered around that.
But I mean, in social media, it is a world of fake outrage. That's what it is.
Right.
You again, these 4 people, nobody heard of them outside of family and friends until yesterday, and now, oh wait, we need to care. It's just, that's the way social media operates.
It is the way social media operates, but what I'm saying is, I think it's in every right to not. Okay, I understand about caring for them, people that you don't know, and then tomorrow is going to be well out of your memory. I'm just saying in particular about traveling abroad and traveling to Mexico. Someone should feel in their every right to second think that, like, okay, maybe should I visit here? What are they doing to black people here? Like, is this a safe space for black people to visit here? And to look further into that. Like, I just think that's okay.
I'll agree. I mean, anybody who's planning to travel abroad should put some thought into it. But by the same token, I kind of reject this notion that that multiple places like literally have it in for tourists.
Right.
Like, that's not, how this works really.
Yeah.
I mean, people travel amongst countries all the time.
Daily basis.
and there's no incidents. I mean, my son's lived abroad for 4 years. Mm-hmm. My daughter just got back from Cabo last week. It's an overreaction to just like something bad happened to this group of people, and it's like, I can't do it. Yeah, research.
Yeah.
Like, where were they? What were they doing? Like, and again, what was there a race element in it? One of the stories I read after the fact, though, is that like the Mexican people are actually aggravated with their own government because there's tons of Mexican citizens that have disappeared in this cartel human trafficking dynamic, and there's nary a finger lifted to do anything. And here we have 4 Americans. And in a matter of 2 days or so, they track down the 2 surviving people and effectively rescue them.
Oh, wow.
So there's another side of this coin that that the Mexican people are kind of like, hey, there's special privilege being afforded these Americans, and we've got people lost, to this whatever trafficking and drug cartel activity, and nobody's giving two shits about. Right. So I mean, it's all context, but I mean, again, if you are traveling, be smart about it. Be safe. Like, do some research into the area you're going to be. And, if an area is genuinely not particularly safe, don't go there. Yeah. Like, why tempt it?
That's it.
Is it worth it? Do you really, is it worth it for you to be killed?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I know a big part of me is that if you are reasonably smart about the choices you make and you're reasonably aware, it's a small minority at times where people get stuck in this violence.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true, man. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports music and mayhem. Really quick shout out here to our second sponsor, and I'm trying to find you here. I'm trying to find you where you're at. Royal13thebrand.com. Again, that is Royal13thebrand.com. Use promo code Bubba Pink, and you'll be fly, man, heading into the summer. Once again, that is Royal13
You're just skipping right over the spring, man. You just want to get to that summer real quick.
Spring is about over, man.
It just started.
No, not for us. Not here in Orlando.
In March. Most schools haven't even had spring break yet. This guy's in the summer. What's going on?
I'm trying to get my legs out, man. We got our next caller. Here, man. What's going on now? Can you hear me?
Hey, Bubba and Pink, it's Kobe.
What's happening?
What's going on, Kobe? One of our weekly listeners here. Appreciate you calling in.
Oh, yeah, every week. 2 questions, 2 subjects.
All right. What do you got?
First question. What are the thoughts about this, the rumored
losses with the Kanye Adidas and then possibly rekindling. And then secondly, and hopefully lastly, on Deion Sanders in this, was this HBCU just a step stool? Or I can't put it past, there's no way you can't tell me some terrible mid-conference team wouldn't have hired him without any coaching experience. No way Colorado wouldn't have wanted him 4 years ago. So what are the thoughts on that? Because there's no way you can't tell me Colorado wouldn't have taken him without taking that stepstone job. If that's what we're gonna leave it at. And those are my two questions.
All right. On the first question, the Kanye thing, we talked about it a little bit last week. When you're talking that business at a high corporate level, there are just consequences to decisions, and it's kind of unrealistic to be able to sever ties with basically a significant chunk of your brand, at the drop of a hat. You have inventory that's just sitting dead, and you probably have contractual disputes and litigation if you're going to try and sell that without Kanye getting a piece of it. You've probably got a whole swath of employees that are literally dedicated to that brand that now you got to repurpose them, find something else for them to do, or cut them loose. So Adidas had a lot of skin in the game to rehabilitate this relationship. And I also think that, as a society, as much as we like to get outraged about stuff, we move on.
Yeah.
We move on, and what's next? And so the furor over what he said or what he did, it dies down a little bit. And then I did mention the other day, there's a notion that when you say something that draws a backlash, and you start to get kind of take the heat on things, there's always going to be a segment of our divided society that wants to empathize with you, that wants to support you, even if it's just to hate your enemy. And that's a real thing. Yeah. And those people still spend dollars too.
Yeah.
And so there's commercial reasons. I mean, why this has something to getting back together has zero to do with principle, with moral, or anything. This is financially beneficial to both people.
Yeah.
That's why it's happening. Don't fool yourself.
Yeah, because remember now, in the midst of all of that, you have Kanye saying as well, like, it's great that it worked out this is the way I wanted it. Now I can rid myself of big corporations, and I can go out and do this, and that.
And here you come back. Circle back.
So it's both sides.
Yeah,
it's both sides, and like Pink said, it's a financial. You just can't turn it down either way. And I'm sure Adidas maybe gave him more whatever percentage, whatever that case may be, and that way they can. And the true test will be once they rid themselves of this. Whatever inventory they have, then what's next? Do they continue on their partnership?
Yeah.
What happens then? I think that'll be more of a true test of what's going on.
I will say this though, I do think. I know there's some dead inventory there, but I do think to do this right, there's going to have to be a few a little bit of new stuff, maybe a new shoe release, or there's going to have to be something new. So you're not just. It's not a matter of getting together to dispose of dead inventory.
Yeah.
They're going to try and rejuvenate.
No, that's a good point.
And then going with Deion.
Yeah.
I mean, in the big picture, he did not have a valid head coaching offer before Jackson State that he was willing to accept or that pushed hard enough to get him. Jackson State did. He had really unmitigated success there, and he's parlayed that into the Colorado job. He's done an amazing job of doing this. I'm going to circle back to it. But I'm still not sold that Colorado was the best place to go. If I'm him, I would have held out for a better job. I really would have. But I will say this, though. One of the great things that Deion's done, and he's writing a playbook on how to handle this stuff. But the one thing I'll say is he has truly lived up to the adage of be where your feet are. When he was at Jackson State, until the end when it was apparently he was going to leave, he was there. He was invested. He was talking the talk, walking the walk. And now he's out at Colorado, and he's Mr. Colorado, Captain Boulder. He's not, you don't hear him talking about the next job or the next opportunity. He's where he is. And it's a lesson to take out of that in whatever you're doing. To always live in what your end game is not realistic. And it's really not going to help you get there. You get places by being great where you are and basically outgrowing that. being too good for what you're doing, and then the next opportunity comes. But if you're half-assed wherever you are and thinking that next opportunity is going to come or that somebody's just going to recognize you out of the blue, you're a fool. And it circles back to the thing that you were talking about, the local mindset of, best in the city, best in that, or I want people to do this for me, but you're not giving back. When you invest in something like, with your time, with your energy, with your effort, when you invest in relationships, good things follow from that. If you're half-assed through all that, you're never going to get the full benefit. If you only want a one-sided transaction, that's all you're ever going to get.
Yeah, no, that's true. The Deion thing, I know it's stemming from he just did a recent podcast on the Pivot. He was a recent guest on the Pivot podcast. He didn't say a lot of things different than what he's done on these other podcasts, but of course they have to ask because they want the quotes and things from on their show. To close the loop on Deion, I think that he's just he's media trained to the top degree, and that I think that benefited him, and I think that benefited Jackson State. I think it was a mutual benefit, and what people the disconnect with people is that it's sort of what you said is that while he was there, he was in the moment, and I just think Deion is a master of being in the moment, but after it's over, it rubs people the wrong way because in the moment you're saying, yeah, I'm here and they want a SHIT on HBCUs and I'm telling you, and we can do the same thing that these bigger schools are doing. You just got to give us an opportunity, give us a chance, and we don't need all this excess of money because we have heart and we have culture and we have, like he's saying all of these things and things that are similar to it, and he's doing it every day. But that's to get bigger recruits in. That's to to sell out, the stadiums and the road games. And he did all of those things, and that's the reason why he was doing them. And he was completing, and he was doing what he wanted to do, and what he set out to do. But when it's over, you have the people. Well, what is all this you were just saying? You said we can do exactly what they are doing, but now you're going to them. You know what I mean? To Power Fives, and I think that's what rubs people the wrong way. I honestly look at it as he was there, he was in the moment, and he accomplished most of what he set out to accomplish. Now he didn't win a bowl game; he was 0-2 in bowl games, but he set out to for the most part, what he set to accomplish, and he pushed JSU forward. I don't think he pushed HBCU football forward. I think he had a chance to, but he didn't stay long enough to do that. But he definitely pushed JSU forward, and not all of the players left and went with him to Colorado. Some quality players stayed at JSU. I mean, yeah, he took your guy with him, and he took Travis, Shador, and a defensive lineman, a lineman or two.
I think he took the kicker too.
The kicker, but some quality players definitely stayed, and JSU will benefit from that time. 1 second here. Let's catch this next caller in. But shout out to Deion, and I'm rooting for him at Colorado State. Yeah, I'm rooting for him, for sure. Not rooting for Ed though. Hey, you are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink. I hope you're not a creditor.
My boy Sleepy, you got me on the podcast right now?
You're on the podcast, man. Who's this?
This your boy Press, man. I ain't know I'm live on your podcast.
Hey, you live on the podcast. Repress, man. Repress is my freshman year, man. I went to Edward Waters College in Jacksonville, man. Repress was my roommate. Guy I hung out with. He's a part of. I gotta share some of the stories I told about Edward Waters. I tell stories here on the show, and one of them you was in. All right, but this is we having a call-in show today, man. You can talk about anything that's on your mind, and then after the show, I'll hit you back and we'll
talk about whatever you actually called.
I haven't talked to Repress in years.
Crazy that he calls right.
It's crazy. He calls on during the podcast.
Crazy, yeah, man. Hey, tell him about how we took your bed out the room, put the sheets in the we wet the sheets, put the sheets in the freezer, and then put it on the top of your truck.
Put the sheets in the freezer and then put it on top of your truck.
It was
Prank
ice.
City, man.
He put his bed and everything on the top of his truck. He used to drive a little black truck.
It was another color, but he painted it. He used to drive a little truck. We used to take that truck to the club and everywhere, man.
Everywhere. That truck was pink, and we painted it black.
So wait, what happens when you freeze the sheets? Do they get stuck to the car?
It turned into ice. We took his bed, we took matches off the frame, and put it on the top of his truck. He came from class, and everything was sitting on the top of his truck. He was
Damn.
hot.
He should have just been happy he had a bed because he didn't have one at Bethune.
Now, I don't know who you sitting beside, but you want to tell the people what else was going on in that truck?
I don't know what else was going on in that truck. I plead the fifth. That truck used to be like a little Motel 6 on wheels.
Motel 6. You should have got a vanity plate that said Motel 6.
Hey.
That would have been badass.
Oh man! All right, man. Hey,
right,
call me when you done, man. Hey, keep doing your thing, man. I'm proud of you, dog.
All right, man. Well, love, I got you.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
Motels, I love that.
Shout out to Repress, man, from Dade County.
That's great.
I ain't heard from Repress in a long time.
That's hysterical that he calls right now.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. Yeah. So that's it with Dion, and but they were asking him a lot of questions about why did he go in? I hope you're not accredited. I know. Why did you go in and tell everybody? Something about, remember about the bags pack? Like, why did you go in there?
I got luggage.
I got my own luggage.
Yeah.
And he was just saying about how you gotta go in and change the minds, and that's how you change the culture. He had a lot of bars. Dion always gonna have some bars, man. But yeah, that's it on the Dion thing. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports music and Mayhem. Edward Waters was a crazy time, man. In Jacksonville. That's the stories that came from the guy who robbed. That was a Repress I was with. I just thought about it. Robbed us for the shoes.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
they took Repress shoes, and I went to go take mine off. He's like, man, I don't want them shit. The guy got a gun on us, man. Not really a laughing matter, but the guy got a gun and robbing us in Jacksonville. And then also, I told a story about the guy. This was just a few months ago. I told a story about the guy who the basketball player.
Yeah.
Who stabbed.
Yeah, the murder.
Yeah, the murder. That was crazy.
That was 2 death stories for you in your career.
Yeah.
Coochie girl.
Yeah, and him.
And the homicidal basketball guy.
They killed Duval, a guy we called Duval. He was from Jacksonville, all because he stepped on the basketball player's shoes, and he stabbed him right there.
Jacksonville's a tough town for shoes.
Yeah, I know, right? Yes, for sure. What's next here? Once again, you guys can call in at any time here. I shut my phone down for a few seconds there. I don't think that bothered anything. This Lamar thing is getting interesting.
Really interesting, actually.
Yeah, so Lamar, as I think a lot of people knew he got tagged, knew what was going to happen. He got tagged. Now, here goes the thing. I saw a post Just Black put up, and he was saying how the thing that y'all thought was happening to Colin Kaepernick is actually happening to Lamar now. I think that's a crazy statement to make. I think this is just a classic case of negotiation, chicken and egg, whatever you want to call it. I think that's all it is. You have Lamar who is in his every right if he wants a fully guaranteed contract. That's what you want. You push for it until you get it. Then you have a team who's saying we don't want to give you a fully guaranteed contract that's over the amount that Deshaun is making. You understand? Like we can give you a lower guarantee if that's what you want, but not that amount. Because that puts us at heavy risk if something were to happen. This is a guy who hasn't played the full season the last 2 seasons, and even when he has played, it's not like he's been lights out. He's struggled in every playoff game he's played in. So both sides have the case. You have Lamar saying, "Hey, I'm an MVP winner. Deshaun ain't, whatever. These other guys, Kyler, I'm way better than these guys." So,
yeah. Well, I think the most interesting thing, and I think what Black's referring to, is within a day or two of this tag being in place, and the tag allows him to negotiate with other teams,
yes,
agree ostensibly to a deal, but the Ravens would have the right to match the deal.
Yes.
And the immediate follow-up of this is that a couple of teams have kind of come out and said, we're not in on this at all. And I don't think, and here's where it gets a little complicated, I don't think those teams are saying no because they have zero interest in Lamar Jackson. And I think that's maybe where the Kaepernick analogy goes. I think that this tag is really kind of crappy because, yeah, you're going to go ahead and negotiate with Lamar, and we know it's going to be a big number, whatever it is, but you don't have any assurance that you can close that deal.
If you're who?
If you're another team other than the Ravens.
No, because
the Ravens can always match.
Yeah.
And so think about this from a team standpoint. Like, I got to commit and negotiate with Lamar. At the same time, I may need to be doing other moves on my roster. But when you're talking a Lamar deal, whatever it's going to be, that's going to be the big deal that you have to fit the rest of the roster around.
Yeah.
But you don't have the assurance that it's going to work.
But that's why it's so. That's why
there's a chill.
Case. But this was the best case scenario. This was the best thing to do for the Ravens.
Oh, it's 100% favors the Ravens.
It 100% favors the Ravens, but it doesn't make them look bad. They're like, hey, Lamar, you think there's a fully guaranteed higher than Deshaun?
Well, but
go
see,
out there and get it.
That's the bullshit of it.
It is, but
this
still,
is like this from the Ravens. They hold all the cards.
Yes,
because they say, okay, well, we're not agreeing. We're going to let you go out and see what the market thinks you're worth, but you're not letting them the market determine that.
And guess what? There's another.
You're
leaf.
letting a loaded, diluted market make a determination that you then can match.
There's another leaf. Remember on the other show, I didn't get to fully explain, but there's two different tags. They could have tagged them with a non-exclusive. Non-exclusive means you can't negotiate with other teams, and you get you basically get it's a percentage, not percentage, but basically add all of the top quarterbacks, and you get it's the word I'm looking for. It's like a math word.
You basically you get an average of a
top
five
of the
or
top
six
five,
guys
which
of the position.
Which this year would have been around 46, 47 million,
right?
With that tag.
Yeah.
But with this tag, with the tag they gave him, if he goes out, negotiates with teams, and it doesn't work out, he gets 32 million.
Okay.
Right. So that's a significant drop.
Yeah.
So they're saying, okay, I'm sure they probably asked him, which tag do you want? He probably, I'm guessing, that's a fully a guess, but if I'm Lamar, I would take the tag where I can go out and negotiate with other teams if you guys don't give me that. So they're saying, okay, you go out, you negotiate. Now, again, to the Colin Kaepernick thing, what Lamar doesn't know is these owners probably talk. And these owners are probably wanting to put a stop or a halt on this fully guaranteed nonsense.
Right.
From there, frame of speaking, there's Cleveland, we're going to sit them over here. They went against the grain, but these the rest of us, 29 of us,
we have to bring some reality to the quarterback market.
Yes,
I get that from a collusion standpoint, but I still think when you're managing your cap, to go all in and piece together a deal of that magnitude only to have the Ravens match, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's just not good business.
Yeah.
Because there's other deals that you could be making with other free agents.
The other team standpoint.
Yeah.
Like Atlanta. But this is the thing. A lot of those other teams don't have a ton going on. Like if Atlanta wanted, they do need a franchise quarterback. This whatever, the Mariota thing didn't work out. You can if that's what you would like to do, if you really need a quarterback, you can bring Lamar in. That's not really disturbing a lot what they have going on.
That's not what I'm saying. The very time that you have to negotiate, and the basically you have to, if you're going to sign him to something, you have to have those funds.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that for the Ravens to match 48 hours later. Instead, during that whole time and that money, you could have been hitting other free agent things.
Yeah.
It's just not a guarantee.
Yeah.
If Lamar's on the open market, if he's on an open market with no tag,
a truly open market,
then you're like, okay, I'm going to make the best deal of Lamar, and I know.
But you have to make. I don't think Baltimore will match that a fully guaranteed. That's just something
probably
we don't
not.
think,
But you gotta. It's a gamble.
It's a gamble.
And
it's a gamble.
And you're probably, again, smart money in a way. You're kind of, if you're gonna throw a deal at him, you might throw a little bit below value and see. It doesn't make sense to just overprice the market for what's the benefit there.
Yeah.
I mean, force their hand on it. It's complicated, and I think that the complications around the deal are what has chilled the market, and not anything inherent to Lamar, his ability to play football, or his race for that matter.
No, again, and for other reasons, but that's why this entire time I just been like, I appreciate what Baltimore is doing. I want Lamar to get whatever contract he wants to get, but like I just appreciate what Baltimore is doing for Philadelphia 76er reasons. But that's something that you don't see a lot in sports. And I just say, okay, and now they played the long game. Well, a lot of people have been, in sports media have been bashing them. Oh, what is Baltimore doing? They're going to lose out on this, and that. And now you look at it, present day, they hold every last single card in the deck.
Yeah.
Maybe they knew maybe they had this entire plan laid out the entire time that others couldn't see. And I couldn't see the particulars, but I just know, like, I appreciate them standing on 2 feet and saying, hey.
But I'll still revisit this whole thing. And if he was holding himself out down the stretch, this is a disservice to yourself.
Yeah.
If you had come back, played, balled out, been Mr. Baltimore, I don't think they put the tag on you. I think they're talking about long-term deal.
Yeah.
But because you basically missed the back half of the year, okay, let's play these games.
No, that's for sure.
And you lose the leverage because Baltimore holds all the freaking cards right now.
No, they do.
As far as that goes.
Yeah. All right. Once again, you guys on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home with sports music and Mayhem. Something that was just interesting for me last night was watching the Timberwolves 76er games, and your guy Anthony Edwards was just saying the Embiid is the MVP to me, or whatever he was saying in the post game there. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I like when
interesting that he said it.
Because I like when certain players, when you get towards the end of the season, you have certain, they are ex-players, and a lot of times they keep it, media light or whatever. They don't really pick a guy. They'll say this guy, that guy.
That's not Ant's brand. It's not. He really became the voice of anti-load management a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he's a guy, I don't think he's ever been afraid to kind of speak his mind.
Yeah.
And, in addition to what he does on the court, which is a lot of fun to watch, for him to be an open, intelligent speaker off the court, and that's what he is. He's got a sense of humor, but he's damn sure not anything other than smart. I mean, nothing he says is,
no.
What's this guy talking about?
No.
I mean, he's really a top-notch guy, and I'm a huge fan, and I think it's gracious of him to say that.
What's his ceiling? What's Anthony Edwards? Can he be in the best player in the league conversation?
It's a good question. As you said the question, the first name that came to my mind was like peak Dwayne Wade.
As a player comparison?
God, definitely. Peak Dwayne Wade won a title in 2006 as the lead player for the Heat. So that's a pretty high standard, and he won 2 with LeBron. But that's just kind of what I feel. He's a very athletic guy, a very physically gifted and strong guy, a lot like Wade in that respect. And but again, he's not freakishly bizarre. He's not a complete physical anomaly like LeBron or like Giannis or some of these other characters.
Or even Ja for his just sheer athleticism.
Yeah.
Speed and hops.
Yeah, until Ja puts his gun down and wins something. We just, whatever.
No, but I'm with you on that. What is this? His second year? Second or third?
Third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, a ton way to go. But I like that player comparison. I think he'll be better. But, who knows?
Yeah.
You have to win. But the way he's improved on his jumper, and I don't know what's going to happen when Cat comes back, because Anthony plays much better with just this one big.
Yeah, I don't love the Minnesota situation for him. I don't think it's great.
I don't like.
He might have to go elsewhere to reach his full potential. To be fair, without a doubt.
That's a god awful situation.
Yeah.
All of their money is tied up in two bigs who
can't play well together or play well with their best player of the team.
That's what I say. Rudy is just not good at all.
It's literally a team
Rudy's
designed to fail.
He's just not a good player at this point in time.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't play well with the other with Cat. I don't know. They're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
In a lot of trouble.
But I even prior to Rudy getting there last year, what I saw in the playoffs, I am not a Cat guy, and last year I felt like Anthony Edwards does not need to play with Cat to maximize himself.
Yeah.
Because Cat's just a dramatic, over emotional bitch. That's what he is. That's what he is, man. He's just a weird ass dude.
Yeah.
I don't trust his makeup.
No, he is, man. Some of the other things going on in the league right now tonight, you got Dallas in a close one with New Orleans Pelicans, and Zion's still not back. You got
it only took Jesus 3 days.
So that game's going to come down to the wire. Pelicans are up 5 right now with 5 minutes to go.
Okay.
That's interesting. You got Boston beating the crap out of Portland. What else is new? Damian Lillard, he's had a good stretch, but, just what does it mean? We talked about it before.
Yeah, we hit it last week pretty heavy, man.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. And then you got the Cavs. The Cavs are beating the Heat by 6 or 7 here with 6 minutes to go. The Cavs is going to be an interesting team, man. As we get in our next caller, and right now they're set to play the Knicks in the first round. That's probably going to stick.
That's anybody's series, really.
It really is. What's going on? You're on the bench podcast.
Yo, what's going on? This is Chris, man.
What's
happening?
This is Chris. This is one of our editors, our main editor now. What's going on? What's on your mind, man?
Yeah. Real quick, I have to say Giannis MVP so far. But
Giannis, okay.
So lately we've been having this group chat debates and stuff, and this one I'm not really in on it, but I just kind of entertained by it. So I'm gonna ask you two: who do you think the better scorer is, Dame or Steph? Not shooter, scorer.
Steph, it's not close.
Better scorer?
Steph.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's
Steph.
It is close.
No, it's not. It's
close,
not close
man.
at all. Steph is the greatest shooter to ever
close.
walk the fucking earth. Number one. Number two. Remember the finals last year. How many buckets did he get in the lane?
No. He can finish well. He finishes well.
Incredibly
he
well.
Finishes
Dame
incredibly
does
well.
not do that.
But he finishes
not close.
good.
Not close to what Steph does.
First of all, Steph is the greatest shooter to ever live.
Right. So you're
But Dame
you're
is
up in that
Dame is top
category.
5.
Okay, but
you know what I mean?
There's a big difference between the top 5 then. And then he's better. He's better in both areas.
Yes,
he's better getting to the basket.
Dame is more athletic. Does
Is
that
he
count
really?
For anything? Yes. Dame
I
is
don't
more
know.
athletic.
I doubt it.
Yes, especially now and in their prime. No, he's more athletic.
When you watch Steph Curry play live, his speed shocks you. It really shocks you. I was blown away by that.
At the very least, they're similar in speed. But Dame is he has much more bounce.
But it doesn't to what effect?
No, I understand.
Steph is better, scoring at the basket and scoring away from the basket. What other category would he be?
It's close.
Plus,
man.
Steph plays harder, and he's way more relentless. That series when the Warriors beat the living piss out of them, and they kept trapping Dame high and getting the ball out of his hands, what did Dame do?
Pretty much gave up.
Passed the ball and gave up.
Yeah.
You do that to Steph, and people have. He fucking runs and gets back into play.
Toronto put a box and one on him, and I was impressed about how he was still able to produce. Not enough to win the series, but they did a full box and one on him.
His running, and when you trap him and all these other things,
he has answers.
He has answers, man. It's not close. Trust me on this.
It's a good question.
It's not a good question. It's like, where do bears shit? The woods. Oh, hey, great question.
But you're looking at it because Dame is. Go ahead, Chris. What you gonna say?
No, I'm gonna make sure they see this too. I'm gonna make sure I record it and send it to
Send it right to Dame's inbox. I'm here for the smoke.
No. Anything else, Chris?
And also,
go ahead.
Also, real quick, I just got an alert, and they say Sean Kemp was involved in a drive-by shooting, so he's locked up right now.
Oh, dang.
Sean
I don't know
Kemp.
what's going on with NBA players, man.
Yeah,
Sean Kemp was involved in a drive-by shooting.
Isn't he a little too old for
He's
that
booked right now.
foolishness?
Was Ja with him?
Sean Kemp.
Was Ja in the car, man? We have to find this stuff out.
As fat as Sean
appreciate
Kemp
you,
was the last time I saw him, I mean, he probably can't fit nobody else
right.
in the car. Wow.
I'm reading the article now. Yeah. Drive-by shooting, Sean Kemp. It says the sports writer shocked. Of course we are. Blah blah blah. He has been booked for the alleged drive-by shooting. According to Washington Corrections inmate listing, blah blah blah. He's been alleged drive-by shooting. Okay, yeah, just saying the same thing, sentence by sentence. He said at 1:58 p.m. an altercation. Oh, this is in broad daylight.
Mid-afternoon.
Altercation between.
Feeling a little frisky after lunch.
Altercation, and this is from the police department. An altercation between the occupants of two cars led to shots being fired at a parking lot at 4500 Block Street of Steel Street. One car fled. No injuries were reported. So he's not an accurate shooter.
I was going to say.
A gun was recovered.
Kind of mirrors his career three-point percentage.
A gun was recovered. A 53-year-old male. Only 53. That's surprising. I thought he was being a little older. Yeah.
I'm just stunned. Like, what the hell?
So he said, so Luka got hurt because it says, this article says, so KD and Luka get hurt and Sean Kemp reportedly involved in the drive-by shooting.
The planets are all on. Sean Kemp.
Something must have happened. They say it was so two cars come at a light, and something must have been said.
It sounds like a road rage thing.
Yeah.
And then everybody's strapped up with guns. So let's go to the park and miss a few shots. Fucking idiots.
Yeah, because you're in broad daylight.
How are you missing guys in broad daylight?
I'm sure other cars, other people are there. Like, what if like you guys miss and hit a innocent person like that?
That's why we don't need all these stupid guns. But thankfully, these guys are such terrible shots.
Just get out and fight. What happened to that, man? What in the world, man? Or I don't know. Like, zoom off. I don't know, man. So, yeah, this just happened today. So
that's wild.
I guess more news are going to come out. I mean, I haven't heard Sean Kemp's name since he's played.
When he said that, I was like, did I? Sean Kemp? The Sean Kemp? Like, that's the guy we're talking about right now?
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy.
Well, 2 weeks ago, he had a comment saying when Blake Griffin dunked over a car, he said that was weak. He said I was 41 at the time and I could have did that at 41. Shout out to Sean Kemp trying to stay relevant.
Yeah. By getting involved in it. You
gotta do what you gotta do, man. Social media is a crazy place, man. You gotta keep up with the Joneses.
I guess, man.
You know, Ja is showing the gun on IG. Sean Kemp said, I gotta up this one. I got something for Ja.
Hold my beer, young fella.
Hold my beer. You guys these days are soft. You're just gonna hold the gun.
You don't show the gun out unless you're ready to use it.
You don't show it unless you're ready to use it.
That's what Pat Bev, your boy, was saying.
Yeah, man.
That's funny. Back where he's from, in the trenches. You don't take the gun out unless you're ready to shoot.
Unless you're ready to shoot. Yeah. All right, guy. Get some minutes on the Bulls.
Well, how bad is Luka injured? What are we talking about?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I saw he had a smaller stat line. I look at Luka's game by game because him and Embiid are in like a dead heat for the scoring champ.
Yeah.
So him getting hurt with only scoring 15, that's going to help Embiid.
Indeed, it is.
You know. Shout out to Embiid for having a healthy season.
Do we have like an old school like David Robinson showdown where like the last game those guys both like pushing over 50
It's that
points?
Close. Today both of them are at 33.4.
Okay.
So
we can get to the last day.
Yeah.
It could be one of those crazy.
Let's see. Luka exits with injury. Let me see how serious it was. He would not return. So that would explain why they're losing to the Pelicans. He's been battling a thigh injury, and it was bothering him throughout the game.
Oh, okay.
So nothing particularly happened. It's just
just shut it down.
been playing through pain.
Okay.
Yeah, shut it down for the rest to the playoffs, man.
To the playoffs.
Yeah.
If he shuts it down, they might not be a part of the playoffs. Seriously.
I just want to be to win something. I mean, God, damn, man.
Scoring title.
Yeah, something.
Maybe he gets yard of the month.
I wish they gave out, I don't know, participation trophies. So. Here goes. Hold on, we got another caller here.
What kind of music do we got there?
Picking up steam. Hey, how you doing? You are on the bench podcast, Bubba and Pink. What we got here?
You got Coach Baruti. What's up?
What's happening, Coach?
Coach, what's going on, Coach? Friend of the show.
How you guys do? Yeah, it's a great show. It's a good show. By the way, Bubba, I love that shirt.
Oh, yeah, your girl. What's her name? I forget her name. I only met her at your show. She sells these shirts. Yes.
Salah?
Yes.
Salah.
Yes.
Salah love.
That's her. That is her. What's on your mind, Coach?
Oh man, I'm just calling in to give you guys some love. You guys are hitting on all these wonderful topics, man. So, what I wanted to comment on a little bit was just the John Morant situation.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have anything official about that? Was he suspended?
He's suspended by the team at this point for what appears to be 4 games. There is a pending investigation by the league because apparently if it was determined that he brought the gun on the team plane, that could result in an automatic 50-game suspension. But my understanding is that investigation is ongoing and no determination's been reached. So if that doesn't pan out, there's no criminal charge coming out of Colorado on this. So it could pass over rather lightly with 4 games and back in action unless they find something with the gun being on the team plane.
Okay, because I saw something on social media that said that he was suspended for 50 games, and I was like, that got to be absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, apparently there is a provision in the players' union agreement that if you do have a gun on the plane, it's automatic 50 games.
It's automatic.
So I don't know what they're gonna investigate there. I would think he had the gun on the plane, really. Like he's gonna leave it at the nightclub? I mean, like that's some reckless.
Yeah, maybe he want to situate to somebody meets him in the airport.
Yeah.
Because he rolls with a lot of his friends and guys. So maybe it could have been one of the guys that met him out there, like his homeboys or friends. You never know.
Yeah, and I don't think that in that 50-game suspension thing, I think that's for somebody who gets very little playing time. I don't think that was really meant for John Morant.
True.
Yeah.
Could be, for sure.
True. Well, I think it goes back to the Gilbert Arenas and Javaris Crittenden.
Yeah.
And that Javaris eventually killed somebody.
Yeah.
So, hey, about 8 years, Ja will have a death row inmate.
You never know, man. You never know.
It's a slippery slope.
What do you think should happen with him?
Man, he's a young man. I don't like it when I see young men get old men punishment. So if they suspended it for 4 games, I think that's fair, and hopefully it doesn't go any farther than that.
What about the notion that Kyrie posts a tweet and loses sponsorship money and endorsement money, and Ja has basically at this point a series of borderline criminal actions, and Nike releases a supportive statement?
Oh, this is America, so it's all driven by it's all driven by the money. Kyrie wasn't behaving himself. He wasn't being a good old boy and doing what he's told to do. So we're going to really teach him a lesson. And it's like it's almost like the gangster rap situation, right? So as long as people are anything where people are like really harming themselves, we'll kind of give them a pass on it. But if you're doing something to harm how we make our money, then we really gotta shut you down.
That's a
but
great point.
is it more nuanced than that though? And it's that nuance that it's okay for black people to basically, potentially do violent things or have negative connotations around them. That's still commercially viable to white America versus a black man making something closer to a political statement.
That's sort of what he's saying.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I think Nike should step up and drop his ass. I do.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They just learn, hey, with what happened with Kanye and Adidas, they're not going to follow that.
Yeah.
No, not at all. But I do think it's weird. Not only just the gun on IG Live. For me, it's a lot of it is the two different situations with the 17-year-old boys. One where the guy was at his house playing basketball, and then you guys get into it and you beat him up. I mean, like, I don't know, like the kid is unarmed, and whatever happens, whatever the argument is over a call or whatever, and he said he felt.
Ja had a 17-year-old kid at his house, and he jumped on the kid.
Yes, playing basketball. That's been confirmed, and Ja
and pulled a gun on the kid is the way the story goes.
Yes.
And then a few weeks ago, with the Pacers, somebody was putting like gun lasers on the Pacers bus from a car that Ja was in. Whether it was him or somebody he's with was unclear, but I don't think it's disputed that he was in the car. I mean, so he's kind of executed a series of just like idiotic moves over the last couple of weeks, couple months that sort of built to this.
Yeah, jumping on a 17-year-old kid. And putting a gun on him, that's a bitch move.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. And if he's and the rest of the stuff he's doing, it sounds like he's reckless. He's being reckless. I can't say he is reckless, but he's being reckless.
And childish.
And he's going. Yeah, he needs. There needs to be somebody in his life that he'll listen to.
There you go.
That can provide him, because it doesn't feel like he respects the people who are around him, because I'm kind of thinking somebody should say you shouldn't do this, and then if nobody's saying you shouldn't do this, then he shouldn't have them around.
Yeah, not for real.
Yeah. So
you are who you surround yourself with.
Absolutely, they ain't there for no reason. You're vibrating on the same level.
No, that's for sure. Well, okay. definitely appreciate you.
Once again, I love the Edenville shirt, and go Dolphins.
Go Dolphins. All right. Didn't expect that.
All right. Appreciate you, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. Yes. Peace.
Yes, sir. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast, Bubba and Pink. That was Coach Baruti, who we had on. We had him on, that's about a month or so ago.
A couple months ago.
Yeah.
Time flies.
So yes, the Pelicans ended up beating Luka-less Mavs. Kyrie had he tried to take over, but he missed quite a few shots. He had 27.
Okay.
And then Celtics beat. I told you that. Our guy's still been hurt. Simons.
Yeah.
He's still been out. It may have been a more serious injury than we thought. The Hawks, they've looked better since they fired the coach, but they have a hill to climb here. Right now, they're in the 8th seed, but Toronto has the same record. They're going to be in the play-in, basically.
Yeah,
because they're 3 games back from Miami at 7. So Atlanta is going to be in the play-in. And right now, you have Miami, Atlanta, Toronto, and Washington that will be in the play-in. That's pretty much set in the East.
Washington's been surprisingly okay.
Like it wouldn't surprise me if in a play-in situation Washington beats in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't fully surprise me. In a one-game
Atlanta
situation
against Washington. I mean, that's a toss-up. I mean, there's nothing.
No. So that's why I think Atlanta is in a tough place. I mean, they played tonight, so that's let me see. They played tonight and the Hawks won by 2 points. So
that the play-in situation is super dangerous.
It is, man.
I mean,
really, it's a one-game thing.
The last thing you want to be is that 7 seed.
Yeah.
Because again, you drop 2 games at the wrong time, you're not even in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And in years past, you're like literally comfortably in the playoffs.
Right. If you're the Magic, were you looking to make the play-in this year?
Yeah.
Is that
Why not?
I mean, I'm saying like. What I mean by looking, I mean, is it a disappointing season? That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I look at the Magic season as being a disappointment. And I mean, like, I think they obviously started very poorly, but I think since a certain point, they've probably played well enough to have a comparable record to the teams that are in the play-in. And to me, if you don't, trip over yourself coming out of the gates, that's probably where you are. You're right in that mix of teams fighting for that.
We were just talking
which
about,
again, that represents a step from where they've been. So that would have been the objective. Like, hey, we got to at least get in the playoff mix.
So you bring the same core back. Hopefully you sign a impactful free agent. Not, it doesn't have to be whatever, LeBron or anything, but an impactful free agent. And if they don't make the play-in again next year, heads have to roll, right? Something has to happen.
For sure.
But for right now, I think the coach is safe. I think, whatever, GM and stuff like that.
I mean, there's been enough. Particularly, I mean, if they don't reach the 10 seed, but they continue to play at a clip that, take away the bad start, we would be right in this mix, then, yeah, you've made a step forward from where you are. But you can't, continue to not move forward in future years.
Yeah.
And you're going to look, you're going to have, Paulo, in year 2, you hope that there's a leap there. You hope that he takes his craft seriously. So that alone, you should get a bit better. I mean, there is maybe something to be said for, having this sort of collage of talent on the same sort of timeline. So many of their guys are relatively young and presumably growing together.
Yeah. I mean, they have to bring in an impactful free agent over the summer to help this team out, like a veteran, but that can still really play. I think Jalen Suggs took a big step back this year as well. I think that's hurting them.
But I don't think he had a great year last year.
It was much better than this one.
I think. I mean, he is. I've seen him play, and he's had, to me, a couple good games, couple segments of good games.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're looking at him as where he was picked, he's been a disappointment for me.
Yeah. He just has. I mean, that's just pretty much it. Yeah. Shout out to Markelle. I mean, Markelle he's really turned himself around in his career.
Because the thing about Suggs, in that draft, he was not, the most athletic or dynamic player. But what you thought you were drafting was a rock-solid guy, a winner, and a building piece.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been that. He's been an unreliably healthy guy, or an unhealthy guy, not reliable because of that. And he hasn't really, had any stretch where he's consistently performed at a certain standard level.
No, for sure. Let's play a little game here because so he was picked at number 5. All right. So you got Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley, they were picked ahead of him, Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham, right? Yeah. And you agree. But after him, you have Josh Giddey, who is really good with the Thunder.
Yeah.
You got Jonathan Kuminga, who's whatever.
Appears to have more upside.
Yeah, more upside. Then the Magic picked again. They had Wagner, which he's been better than Jalen. He's been much better.
More consistent.
Consistent. Davion Mitchell, I don't know what he's doing over there in Sacramento.
He's kind of
Sacramento
he hasn't been
team.
great.
Okay.
I mean, I think he's a bench guy for them. He hasn't, been a big factor. He's been a little disappointing.
This wasn't a great draft. You got Trey Murphy a little down. I like what Trey's doing over there with it says Memphis here, but I'm pretty sure he's with New Orleans here now. Yeah, he's with New Orleans now. Trey Mann, he's definitely more than serviceable. But it wasn't a great draft.
Yeah, none of these guys are.
No.
Really good.
No. Yeah. But that's for sure. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink. Just wanted to close up with some trending news here. 1 second here. What the Lakers have been playing a lot better too lately, even with LeBron out.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, got to give a shout out to him, man. He's been getting it in.
If we must.
Kobe says Isaiah Simmons. What is that? Injures another knee after speaking on kneeling. So you got T.I. responding to Boosie on a song. I don't know. Just leave it alone. Yes. I mean, because now it's just going to be. Now you're going to want to capitalize off of it. Whatever. I know what I wanted to talk about now that we said it. I didn't make a thing for it like I thought I did. But the Chris Rock situation, we didn't talk about the Chris Rock thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, Magic did get one right in Bankero. He's definitely fire. The Chris Rock thing. So, of course, he had his stand up, and I watched the whole thing. So this is my take on the Chris Rock stand up. First of all, Chris Rock, I think he should have. I know he should have. He should have put the Will Smith stuff at the beginning. He put it at the very end, because what happens is you have social media and the people. From what I've seen, it's more like 70-30. 70 is not good, not funny. I didn't laugh at all. Then you have 30 saying it is, and that's what's going to happen when a legend comes out and we haven't seen him in a while do a significant comedy special. So, but I think what you do is, because you know why we're here and we know why you're here.
But I think that's why I put it at the back.
Yeah, but what I think is you got all of these. So in the beginning, you got all of these jokes where it's just like, whatever. You got us waiting, and I think that's why you have the resounding amount of people, even subconsciously, they're just thinking like, this is not good. It's not whatever, because he got these. Oh, my daughter is rich but still hood, and they can speak 5 languages, and he's telling different jokes about his rich daughters. You got that part, and then you got some other stuff, and it just it was like okay, really not funny, but it was some parts that were okay, and then you get to the Will part, right? I think if you come out and you just address the elephant in the room right away, right, and then you just do your best to try to keep that momentum. I think the whole feeling on that changes. Versus you coming in and slow and then trying to hit the Will thing last. But whatever, tomatoes. But what I thought was interesting was he hit the Will Smith thing, and he did incorporate like actual jokes around it. So I think that it definitely was worth touching, and I definitely think that part was pretty good. But outside of that, it was just like, you could definitely do without.
I'm not a stand-up guy, so I don't have like a great, aspirations for watching these things. But yeah, I mean, I think he definitely had to, and I think you make a strategic decision. It's like, go with what you said, hit him with the best stuff that everyone wants to hear right away, or no. And I think most formats of television or any show building, they like to tease you and drag you along. Yeah, they know they've got something we definitely want to see. Yeah. But so they'll soak us through 40 minutes before they give us what we want. Yeah, that's just what it is.
Yeah, it just is what it is.
I mean, so that's kind of like the old traditional way of doing things. But I think if you came out of the box with it, that's a little bit more like, hey, I'm just gonna flip the dynamic here and do it like that.
Yeah.
But I mean the night was what it was. I mean, when it happened, he won the night. Will looked like a complete idiot. His wife looked like a complete idiot. Like they just lost that. There's no coming back from them. I saw something on the way here. It's like Jada inside friends say that Chris Rock's obsessed with her. Like, really? Like, really? You've been a weird little cunt for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Nobody's obsessed with you.
No.
Nobody. Just people want you to go away with your fucking red table talk. Shove that red thing up your ass.
No, and I what I didn't like about it was, like I said, Chris like I said pre-show, Chris Rock is a guy who, first of all, as far as when comparing him to legends, you either like him or you hate him, and you can say that about a lot of people. But he curses a lot in his comedy. He's surface level, and he doesn't like he doesn't have a lot of like knee slappers like moments throughout comedy and throughout his stand-up comedy. And I wouldn't place him in my top 5 or barely top 10 for me, if that. And that's the reason for it. And in here, when he's talking about the Will Smith thing, Chris Rock is a guy who he always talking about where he comes from and the hood and how good he is and this and that. And then, but he's complaining about Will Smith coming up to slap him and Will Smith being a bigger guy, and Will Smith he's a bitch for picking on a smaller guy. That was the essence of that joke, of basically the entire Will Smith joke. And it's just like, well, if you're such a hood guy and this is not, but you have to have some type of self-awareness. You made a joke about a guy's wife. The guy has to get up, walk 20 yards to come to, like, where is your, I'm not saying to fight back. You don't have to fight back, because his last joke to end the entire thing, it was a mic drop or something about his mama told him not to fight in front of white people. And, right? And I'm not saying to fight, but, where's your flight or, like, where's your run at? Run. Flight or fight? You're just gonna stay there and get bitch slap?
I disagree with you.
But
I think taking the bitch slap was the best move there was.
No,
100%.
It's not the best move, because
it was.
No, it's
because he won that night. Okay,
he was going to win regardless.
No.
I'm not saying to fight. I'm not saying to fight.
But what else do you do? Do you
move
duck him
out of the way?
That you duck him and then scramble away? No, that wouldn't have the same at all. Because he ended up being like kind of like the exalted victim of the situation, because he actually got hit. If he didn't actually get hit, if he kind of dips out of the way and it's a partial or it's a clean miss, it's not even a story.
Yeah, but he's just a smaller B than what Will is. I mean, it's not that big of a difference. It's like, because I don't know why this joke always resonates, but it's just like Kodak said. He tweeted right after. He's like, what did Chris Rock think, that Will was coming up to hug him? I mean, like, it doesn't take a rocket science to know what this man is walking up to do. Like, it just doesn't take rocket science.
Yeah.
Like, and it could have been worse. What if Will would have just all out tried to really knock his ass out? You gonna take that too?
But
you're taking whatever he was given.
But that point, you probably felt he was a bitch coming up.
No,
yeah.
That's not you. But you don't know. Like you're there to take whatever this man gives you. That's your decision in this moment.
No, I agree with it, man. I think you made him look so bad by doing that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I mean, like, just think of the different possible scenarios. He ducks out of the way. What happens there? Then what?
Doesn't get hit.
Okay.
You still win because Will Smith was the aggressor. It's not the same. But when you say win, what's win? What's win?
Because he came out better than Will Smith. Like, he let Will Smith just die on the vine there for what he did.
Will Smith was going to die on the vine anyway.
No.
He was.
You slap a guy. You slap a guy. You didn't deck one punch a guy. You slapped a guy on fucking national TV who decided he didn't think enough of you to defend himself. That's what we're talking about.
No.
I mean, it's totally different. Okay, like if Chris sees him coming, drops the mic, takes his jacket off, and goes at him, like, that's different. Maybe Chris Way. I don't know. But you just let this deranged, sad, pathetic dude have this one moment of idiotic glory because you thought you were being a man, but you were being a bitch. He got played so bad by just taking a one shot.
Yeah,
that's 100% win. Yeah. Anything else would have diminished the purity of that victory.
Of that moment, yeah. We have our next call in. You're on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink. Who are we speaking to here?
I mean, it's the one and only Jimmy Green. How are you guys doing tonight? that is not excitement to hear my voice, though.
You're the first female caller of the night. The only female caller of the night.
Well, you guys didn't have any controversial things that you were speaking about tonight, so I was waiting for my moment, but it never came.
But we
left this as an open forum for anyone to call in with anything on their mind.
Anything and everything.
I don't like to intentionally get myself riled up. Okay.
You didn't have to be riled up. You could have just come in and said something composed.
No, I saw that you guys are ending the show, so I was like, let me call.
All right.
Listen, the whole Chris Rock and Will Smith thing. No, not at all.
Okay.
Well, I mean about Chris Rock and Will Smith.
Yeah.
I think that I really wish Will Smith would have punched him in the face.
Why? You're all Will Smith on this?
I just don't like. I don't like Chris Rock. I never have. I think he has a thing
because the women. Yeah, that's another thing.
Wait, what is it?
It's always the women for me. Come on, always.
Chris Rock has a history of jokes cracking about women, black women in particular.
Black women. Yeah. Okay, let's say black women, not just women. Black women.
That's true. He does. Yeah.
And so Will Smith should have really took his head off. I was really disappointed that
you were disappointed.
Yeah, but see, your ostensible hero is such a fucking bitch. He couldn't rise to the moment.
Oh, I know.
This is who you throw your lot with.
I mean, in this instant, yes, yeah.
The slapper of defenseless comedians.
He was not defenseless.
He was.
He runs his mouth too much. He fucked around and found out. He runs his mouth too much. Talks too much.
He found out that Will Smith permanently diminished his own fucking career.
But he really hasn't. Has he though?
He has.
Has he?
100%.
I mean, people still like him the same.
Projects were taken off the table. But he got them back. No, he didn't get them back.
He got a few of them back.
He just had a movie that went and did pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see.
He had to go. Notice this though. I didn't watch it, but he had to go into like a historical acting movie. No, because that's significant. He didn't just roll out another tired Will Smith movie.
Yeah.
He actually tried to play a character.
I mean, I didn't watch Emancipation even.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. So let's not talk too much about him getting his career back.
But it did good. I mean, it did decent. It did, fairly. I don't think his reputation is turned at all. I think he'll be fine.
I think you're insane if you think that.
I know you do. But I think he'll be all right. But in the black community anyway, he'll be fine.
Was he really a big hero to black people, though?
Who's that?
Will Smith.
It's something that for us, even as Bubba, like at our family reunions and get together, somebody always gets slapped.
It's the show. The rap is like a side thing.
That's how he came up.
It's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's how he came up.
What?
He's a rapper.
Yeah, but we recognize him for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then the movies, and then like the music is like side. It's like,
because it was
we really don't recognize his rap career.
His music sucked.
I mean,
his music is
bad. We weren't going to Will Smith for music. I mean, it was okay. You got the Summertime. Summertime is a hit.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
That was the one hit, though.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the one hit.
There's one memorable song in his whole catalog.
Listen,
I think he is about as corny and useless as a person has ever been.
He was bad in this moment, but
no, in life.
No, I don't think so. I think
not in life.
Yeah.
I want to put more blame on her. I want to
100%
remove some blame from him and put more on her because he is battered, man. He's beat up. He's beat the shit.
No, I said that at the time.
And I understand the only thing. Okay, you leave her, but I understand. It's a lot of other politics and things involved in leaving her at a given time.
No, he is a battered spouse.
Yeah. And
he reached his
limit that night.
Reached his limit that night. He's like the guy that gets molested young and then goes on to molest others. Oh my God. That's your hero.
Oh my! Brian, honestly,
that's true.
Man.
Cut it out. But I agree with you guys that Jada definitely played a humongous role in this shitstorm for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I can't even defend her. I will
He should have slapped her instead of Chris Rock.
I can't defend her. First of all, relax. Absolutely not.
Hell yeah.
Oh, my God.
Why not?
But, I mean, maybe if he was doing that in the bedroom, he wouldn't have to be seeing other people.
You slapped the wrong little boy.
Right. You know what? Anyway, I'm not even getting into this with you.
But
anyway,
they say that the movie bombed in the box office.
Emancipation?
Yeah.
Did it go to the theater? I thought it just went to Amazon Prime.
Oh, I thought it just went to streaming. Oh, I didn't know it was in the theater.
But for some reason, they still have the box. They still have the numbers.
I mean, has anybody admitted seeing it other than Chris Rock?
You know what?
I want to see it.
No one wants to watch slave movies anymore. We're over those. We're over most slave movies.
Yeah, I think that's another.
I just I want to watch movies about black anarchy. That's what I like. Pandemonium, chaos.
Okay.
I want to see us burning stuff down. That's all. No more slave movies. We're past that. But anyway, gentlemen,
get off the
I
couch
just
and
wanted
start
to,
burning some stuff.
What?
Come to the front lines.
Come to the front line.
Yeah.
I do enough.
Burn a white church.
Listen. Oh my gosh, Ryan! You're not burning a white church.
We're flipping the script tonight.
Flipping the script. Anything else on your mind, Jimmy?
No, I just wanted to call in. I was excited at the opportunity to, call in. I hope you have the call in live when you guys are talking shit about women. That is when, I definitely want to ring in and give my 2
Well, why don't you just revisit maybe something we said in the past that particularly rankled you?
Because I'm so relaxed on my sofa having a snack. I just don't want to get myself riled up this late at night.
You're basically inviting us to rile you up on another occasion.
And Bubba said the show was ending, so I thought I would just catch you right at the end.
Okay, we still got plenty of gas in the tank.
Yeah, it's next week though. Are you guys gonna let us call in every week, or was it just today?
Just today, but we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna have you on the show. I know you called in at one time, but we want you in the studio. And you'll be
I definitely would like to come in.
Yeah, we're gonna hook that
I'm
up
ready.
for you.
You're ready. You weren't ready before when you made your phone appearance?
I'm sorry, what?
You weren't ready before when you made your phone appearance?
Is it last time or this time?
The last time, the original appearance.
I was always ready the last time, but I'm ready to come into the studio to talk shit face to face. That is my preferred method of shit talking. Okay. It's face to face. I like face to face, physical confrontations with folks. I like that. I enjoy it.
All right.
So yeah, I definitely look forward to coming in.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in and thank you for watching.
All right, guys. Thanks for having a great show.
All right, now.
You.
All right. Bye. Good night. Bye.
I was wondering who was texting us, but they said Greg Popovich announced his retirement at the end of the season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long overdue. No, I mean, I hate to say it. He was at the peak of his powers until Kawhi left.
Yeah.
And it's just been a steady downhill since. Yeah. And again, I always respect Pop for a lot of his social commentary. And, and I do think he's a fantastic coach. But, when Kawhi left, the Spurs have never been the same.
Is Kawhi the Tom Brady for Bill Belichick?
No.
For Greg Popovich?
No, because Popovich is, more Tim Duncan was his guy for the long time. But just the ugly Kawhi departure, the sit out, the medical dispute, and then leaving, and then the team just basically floundering.
But I'm surprised he would make a comment about that, knowing that they have a real shot at this alien guy that's coming out of the draft.
Victor, yeah.
Victor.
But I think he's burnt out. He's old.
He is, but can't
Victor
give you a new life?
He could, but again, you've been in basketball hell for the last couple of years. Yeah. You did get the gold medal, but even that was a tractor pull.
Yeah.
I think he's just burnt out.
No, that's true.
And I think part of him, again, I don't know his exact age, but what is he gonna do? They get Victor? He's gonna try to go another 8 years? What's the plan there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only got so many years anyway left. Just before he's gonna be on death watch.
Well, without Pop, I would hate for Victor to go there. The NBA probably would rig something. Without Popovich there, there's no way Victor's going.
Yeah.
And I would be fully supportive of the NBA rigging.
Maybe he got his Arian Foster script and
say, I'm out. Victor's not coming here. Yes.
End of the year. Thank you, everyone.
He got his Arian
Love you,
Foster
San Antonio. Yeah.
No, Greg, I'm sorry. We can't send him there. It's just not good for us.
Yeah, man. I don't know. That's yeah, that is what it is, though. Nah, I
would be pissed if Victor goes to San Antonio.
Now?
There's just nothing fucking there.
Right. I don't know.
I would be I would be pissed.
But they just say, I mean, think
I don't
about
want him there.
I mean, just think about like where the Spurs are as a franchise. Like you brought in Aldridge, it didn't work out. You brought in DeRozan, it didn't work out. Like, and again, like DeRozan actually played well as a Bull after leaving you.
Yeah, he played bad with them, or
and
like not good.
It wasn't great.
It wasn't great.
You basically trade away DeJounte Murray like in his prime because you don't want him to suffer in this situation. It's just horrible.
Even Porter.
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 Yeah, it's. I mean, they've just gone nowhere. I mean, they were like a model franchise for so long, but it is a testament. It's not about franchise. It's about freaking players. And you got to have players.
Yeah.
And the players set the tone. They build the culture, and you're kind of a facilitator of that stuff, but you can't do anything without players.
No, you can't. You can't. Well, that's been the show tonight.
We're a little experimental today, taking some calls. I thought most of them went pretty well.
Yeah. We'll be back next week. We'll get a guest. We have about, 25, 30 people want to get on the show, so we'll figure it out.
We'll knock them down one or two at a time.
Yeah, that's it, man.
We're out.